Hey, what's up? This is ChoseN, and this video is going to be about my resource management, why I have so many gems, how did I get them, does Plarium give them to me, do I buy them, and what exactly is my agreement with Plarium. I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys, and I'm going to go over all of these types of things, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so yeah, first off, I would say over the course of my whole channel and Discord and all my videos and stuff and streams that I do, I would say it probably comes up about 50 times a day. Like, wow, why do you have so many gems? Or, geez, it must be nice to be a raid YouTuber and have Plarium give you tons of gems all the time. So I want, since I get so many of these comments, which I understand, I'm not blaming anybody or like complaining. I just wanted to do a video where I address and talk about this stuff so that instead of ignoring these people or having to type out a response constantly, I can just copy and paste them to this video where I explain, how I got these resources, how, my agreement with Plarium, why I manage my resources the way I do, and all of that. So that's what I'm going to do here. So, I've been playing Raid for about 6 months, and I'm very, in real life, I work in like the investment and banking world. So I'm always very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very steadfast in like resource management and focusing on like macroeconomics, focusing on the future instead of today. It's just kind of the way I think in general. So I'm kind of like managing my gems to make sure I have enough of a backbone to where if a new segment of the game gets released, like if we get new content and I want to invest a bunch of gems into exploring that content, like how Faction Wars just came out recently, if I was able to refresh my keys in Faction Wars, I would be throwing gems at it all day so that I can progress as far as possible, so that I can test out different things, so that I can produce a bunch of Faction Wars content. But as of right now, I can't refresh my keys in Faction Wars, so I can't, test the boss as much as I would like to. I'm exploring certain ideas of like leaving the boss fight and stuff like that, so I can really, dive in, and some of those projects are in the works, but I'm getting off on a tangent here. So also, I love to make champion guides. I make about 2 or 3 a week, and they cost a lot of gems. So I don't like to make champion guides unless I invest in the character, play the character a lot, Minotaur grind them, ascend them, get them with some pretty good gear, and kind of use them and get some experience with them before I make a champion guide. So my champion guides are very expensive gem-wise. Just the Minotaur grind and grinding the ascendancy potions and all that can be over 1,000 gems just right there. And I like to have a good backbone of gems so that, if a bunch of new champions get released or something, or if I summon a few champions that I really want to do a guide on, I have the gem backing to be able to invest and make those champion guides. I don't want to be sitting at 2,000 gems and then be in a situation where I'm forced to go onto the shop and buy gems at regular price. So that brings me to another point. In the 6 months that I've been playing, I allow myself a certain budget every month for entertainment, and admittedly I've been spending most of that budget on Raid. So I spend a few $100s a month on Raid, and the way I spend my money on Raid is I make sure I buy offers that are going to give me good like gem and energy value. So for example, with all these offers right here, I'm going to lean towards the one that would give me the most value gem wise, which would probably be this one. But I went ahead, I plugged this in the calculator while I was kind of thinking about what I was going to talk about during this video, and we can see here that the 1250 gems comes out to something I'd be willing to pay about $20 for. With this being $25, it's something I wouldn't buy. So I'm very smart about how I spend my money to make sure I'm going to get the most long-term value out of my dollar. I do very few kind of impulse buys. I will, like if I'm streaming and, somebody donates and they're like, hey, buy this, I will, I'll spend the money how the person who donated wanted me to. But when it comes to, just managing my money every day and kind of managing my resources in Raid, that's kind of my thought process. And I've had people accuse me of being like stingy, or, you know, why don't you blow through your gems and spend them? You're being such a stingy content creator. It's actually the opposite. I mean, it would be fun for me to just blow through these gems and do a bunch of crazy stuff, but I want to be able to save them so that I have the backing to be able to do champion guides and dive into content when it's released, and be able to buy a bunch of shards when new champions are released and stuff, like new factions come out or something. So, you know, in my opinion, it's actually the opposite. I'm saving in terms of being able to produce more content and get to a place where I'm always going to have that backing. Another thing I want to talk about that people are always very curious about is, you know, geez, Plarium must give you a ton of gems. You know, it must be nice to have a contract with them and all that. So, you know, I do want to talk about that for a little bit. Plarium is great, but they actually don't give me a whole lot. Now, full disclosure, you know, I told you guys I would always keep it 100 with you. I don't lie. I don't use clickbait. I don't, you know, deceive you in any way. So, full disclosure, they do give me some stuff. But they've never given me any silver or anything like that. They've never given me any energy. I got a decent payment. I don't remember what it was, a few thousand gems when I first signed on and kind of committed to them and said, you know, yes, for the foreseeable future, I will mainly focus on Raid Shadow Legends on my channel. I did get a few thousand gems when I signed up for that, and every couple weeks, you know, they might throw me, you know, a couple books or like 1,000 gems or something. But I would say probably more than 90% of what I have, you know, bought myself or saved up or farmed or grinded, you know, acquired by my own means. And probably about 10% or so of what I've acquired in the game has been, you know, graciously given to me by Plarium for the fact that I, you know, dedicate so much time towards making content for the game. So it's not near as much as people think, and that's not me complaining. I love the relationship I have with Plarium. Everyone I deal with is very nice to me, you know, so that's not me complaining. I enjoy being a regular gamer, just like everybody who watches my channel. I enjoy the grind and the struggle of you know, trying to manage how I spend my money in the game and how I manage my resources and how I manage grinding and doing all that. It wouldn't be fun for me if I was just handed everything. Okay, here's every champion. Here is 10 million gems. You have max everything. Now just go make content. That wouldn't be fun for me. I do want to be a gamer just like everybody else who watches the channel. So I think it's perfect. I think, you know, I get a little bit, you know, for all the hours I spend making raid content. So that's very nice of them and considerate of them to reach out and do that. You know, I come from the like Diablo 3 universe and the StarCraft universe, and I used to make a lot of content for Blizzard games, and Blizzard never gave me anything for 10 years. I didn't get nothing. So the fact that Plarium even gives me a little bit here and there is great, and I'm very appreciative of that. I'm never like demanding or, hey, give me this or I'm gonna stop making content for your game or anything like that. So it's a great relationship that I have with them, and I'm very appreciative of how cool they are to me. So as far as like a contract or an agreement with Plarium, there really isn't anything set in stone. You know, I never signed anything. They don't pay me any money. So it's nowhere near what people think it is. It's mainly just, I love the game and I enjoy working with them. You know, so I make raid content, and then they throw me a little bit here and there, you know, just kind of as a thank you to be nice. There's really nothing set in stone or like weekly payments or them putting money in my checking account or anything like that. And they've also, I get accused sometimes of like being biased, like, oh, you need to be mad about this and criticize Plarium. You know, just because they pay you doesn't mean you shouldn't speak your mind. I really do speak my mind. You can go through my videos or my streams. There's plenty of times where I where I like dive in and criticize Plarium and say, you know, I don't like this champion, or the rewards in this event aren't very good, I wouldn't recommend you participate in this event. Or just like I did earlier in this video, I said, you know, this offer is something I probably wouldn't buy. It doesn't seem like a very good offer. I mean, like, my opinions are 100% my own. Plarium, a really cool thing about them is they have never even hinted at the fact, like, hey, we don't want you to talk about this, or, you know, we don't want you to criticize this. They have never said a word. Like, they let me make my content, they let me do my thing, and you know, they have never restricted me or said, you know, hey, if you're gonna work with us, you have to say what we want you to say. They have never said that, and if they did, I wouldn't agree to it. Like my opinion is not for sale. I want to be open to say what I want, criticize what I want, and have my real opinion. I'm not a robot that's for sale just to parrot and say what you want me to say. So, you know, this channel will never be that. I don't care if somebody offers me $10,000 a month to say what they want me to say, I will never do it. You know, so my opinions on this channel are my opinions, and they're not for sale. So, you know, just because I choose, I'm not really the ranting type in my videos. I'm not gonna sit here and just go hard for 10 minutes screaming and ranting about something that I don't agree with. I usually take a more calm approach and a more like, you know, explain type route instead of like ranting and raging about things. You know, even if I don't like something, I'm gonna kind of dive in and try to see the bigger picture and not like rage and rant about it. So but definitely I am not paid by Plarium to give a certain opinion, and you know, that kind of explains my resource management and kind of my way of thinking when playing Raid, and way of thinking when it comes to, you know, the type of content I produce and kind of all of that stuff. So I hope this video sheds some light on that, and if you have any questions, I am, you know, more than willing to be open and respond in the comments. I'll do my best to, obviously I can't get to every comment. I do try to spend like 1 or 2 hours a day, you know, reading comments and replying to people, but you know, obviously I'm gonna miss some through the cracks and won't be able to get to everybody. But if you have a question, drop it down in the comments, and I'll do my best to be an open book and you know, answer it for you. So yeah, thanks for watching, and as always, have a good rest of your day. Peace.